Hey guys, I'm back because I'm going to do a review on Charles Manson Now by Marlon Marinick. Creepy guy. In jail. He had a death sentence in California. He was sentenced to the death penalty in 1960 something, 70 something, 80 something. I truly cannot remember. It was for the Tate LaBianca, was it the LaBianca murders? But he didn't actually kill anybody, and he wasn't there, I don't believe. He just supposedly, brainwashed people. This was during the hippie era, so it's at the 70s. So, I mean, he has issues, but I still, I guess I still don't understand why he got the death penalty. And then California abolished the death penalty, so his sentence got reduced to life without parole. But I'm still confused on why he got that if he didn't actually do any killing and wasn't there. So if anybody can explain it to me, I would greatly appreciate it, because I'm really, really confused on that. But this book, I really enjoyed it. I finished it in a day. I mean, it's 375 pages, something like that. The words, it's very easy to read. It's alternating chapters, and where the author talks, and then the next one will be Charles Manson. Let me tell you that Charles Manson makes no sense. I was reading it, when I would get to his parts, I was so confused, because he just, he doesn't make sense. And, yeah. Let me say also that this book, even though it says Charles Manson Now, isn't completely on Charles Manson. It does cover a lot, but a lot of it, too, is about, I believe it's 2 other inmates. There's a brief history on who are friends with Charles Manson in jail, and the author befriended him, or they befriended the author. I can't remember which way it went. There's also a brief history on some other serial killers, and just different things about Charles Manson, like his friends, people that are still friends with him, still keep in contact with him. There's a guy out there that believes that Charles Manson is his dad, but Charles Manson won't give DNA, so he doesn't know. So there's talk on that. The author is actually a psychiatric nurse and has been for the past 15 years. So there's talk on different mental diseases and stuff. I found it a very interesting story. A lot of different viewpoints and a lot of different opinions on what people think of Charles Manson. Interestingly, or whatever you want to say, of course, everybody that's friends with him is going to like him. But he seems like, from their point of view, it's how could he have how could he have brainwashed these people, and why is he in jail? I mean, he's a weird guy, but he doesn't seem crazy, crazy, scary crazy, you know? He's very artistic. He drew this, and there's other drawings in here, but he also makes stuff out of toilet paper, I believe it is. Look at this mean one of him. And, like this. A string spider created by Manson by meticulously tying thousands of knots made with thread from his clothing. He would, you know how sometimes your shirts or that will have a little thread coming off? He would collect those. He would gather those. He would, and he made this. I don't know if you guys can see that spider. That's very cool. He also did pentagram necklace made by Charles Manson from toilet paper and string. He would use toilet paper and manipulate it so it was like cardboard again, or what have you. If you guys can see that. Hope you guys can see that. I hope there's not like really a glare. I just realized I didn't put my big light on. So I know this lighting is not going to be the best. There's also talk of Satanism in here because Anton LaVey, I believe was his name, was the founder of Satanic Church. Oh, here's that guy that thinks Charles Manson's his dad. And let me see. He's the founder of Satanic Church, and his son, here, Stanton LaVey, is the grandson of Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan. So it talks a little bit about that, Satanism. It's just got, like I said, interesting things in here. It's not all, I mean, it all ends up coming back to Charles Manson and being about Charles Manson, but in different ways. So it's very interesting. But like I said, his words in that are just so hard to understand. I was reading something to my husband the other day, part of it, and I'm like, do you really understand this? It's like he double talks, and it's so freaking confusing. It's like little essays on when it shows like his writing, like what he's talked about. It's like little essays. So like you got major, and then you got air and words. I mean, he talks about air like he's very into the environment, ATWA, which is air, trees, water, and animals. Very, very into the environment. I should have bookmarked this spot where, like I said, I was reading it to my husband, because I was confused reading it. I'm like, really? And I think it's towards the end here. Oh, and here is, in this book, Stanton recited for me the 9 satanic statements of the Satanic Bible. It's interesting, though. They say that Satanism isn't like about the devil, which I don't understand, because Satan is another word for the devil. But yeah, it's just so interesting. Let me see. I just want to see if I can find this. And actually, I think I put it in Goodreads. I wrote it for like my update status, part of what he said, because it was just so off. It was so off. He was talking about when people say there's no such thing. And he was talking about that. And it was like, oh, here it is. Okay. Let's see. He says, a lot of people don't understand the Ku Klux Klan. They understand the publicity of it. The Klan is an empty hood in a circle of colors. It doesn't have anyone in it. You can't explain something to someone when there's no such thing. How can you explain no such thing as being no such thing? If there is no such thing, then how can you explain no such thing as no such thing? But there is such a thing as no such thing, and in that chamber of no such thing is no such thing. If anybody understands that, please translate it for me, because that's how he talks. It's just, wow. Wow. So yeah, very interesting. Very, very interesting book. If you want to give everything to the poor people, then that puts you a couple steps under poor, because they'll eat you up. Go back in that back alley and see if the winos don't pick your bones. So if the most holy want to go back, they built the monasteries high up in the mountain where no one can get to them. They send soldiers to die in war because they can't face the reality out the back door. The trash can reality of the garbage people. You know, they're the ones that have to work it all out, and virgins are not sacrificed on the pyramids for good. They're sacrificed on the back streets for drugs and money and bureaucrats and politicians and preachers, double-dealing, lying preachers. I mean, it's just... And he grew up in Indiana, Terre Haute, which is still like an hour from where I used to live, but I didn't know that. That was interesting. Yeah, if you like reading about stuff like that and you have an interest in Charles Manson, there's a lot of books out there on him, but this one's a good book. It's a good book. I was going to do, and maybe I'll just talk really quickly about the program by Suzanne Young, which is a new release. And it's about suicide being an epidemic. And a part of, I forgot what state it is, or a couple states or whatever it is, where they actually have people watching you at school and your parents. There's a hotline they can call if you start feeling acting depressed, because what they'll do is they'll take you into this hospital, and they're trying to get you better, so you're not depressed. And this is for teens. Once you're over 18, they can't do anything to you. It's like between 13 and 18 years old. And when you come out of this hospital,